Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another video episode on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian. I'm here at the Rock Island Auction House today taking a look at some of the guns in their December 2014 premiere auction. And I thought this would be a good opportunity for us to take a look at something we don't usually go into very much on this website, that being particularly antique guns. So I noticed in their catalog they had this Spanish Miquelet. This is a very early Flintlock style of pistol, and I thought it'd be a really good example that we can use to look at some of the developments in early firearms. So let's go ahead and bring the camera back here, take a closer look at exactly how this mechanism works and where it fell in the development of, from matchlocks all the way up to modern firearms. So the very first firearms were developed in China sometime around the 1200s. Very simple, consisting of a tube with gunpowder and a projectile, and a flash hole that you could touch a spark to, and ignite them. That developed into the matchlock, which was kind of the first really practical military firearm for the individual soldier, where you would have a pan containing some powder with a touch hole going into the barrel, and then instead of a flint or anything else here, what you had was simply a clamp that held a burning match. This would be a piece of generally rope that had been soaked in ammonia. It would smolder very slowly so you could keep it lit for a very long time. Obviously there were a ton of problems with that, like, fighting in the rain was a problem. Also the fact that you had hundreds of soldiers wandering around with flasks full of gunpowder and lit matches all the time. That was a recipe for the occasional errant explosion. What developed after that, we had the wheel lock, which I think we'll skip for the moment. It's kind of a bit of a sidebar. What became the next really common military firearm was the flintlock. There are a whole bunch of different versions of the flintlock. What we have here is a version called a Miquelet, which was, there are two main types, Spanish and Italian styles of these locks. What differentiated them from the snap-ons, which is the previous version, was that we have here a combination of a pan cover and a striking plate. So this plate is what the flint would strike to create a shower of steel sparks. You can see at the bottom, fairly common of Miquelets. The pan had vertical striations in it. That was to enhance its spark making capability. And this also functions as a cover for the priming pan. So the idea of combining the striker plate with the pan cover is the defining technical change that separates the snap-ons from the Miquelet. And the Miquelet really was the first true flintlock design. Now, as I said, there are two major stylistic variations of these, Spanish and Italian. And the easiest way to tell the difference is you can see here, if we consider that there is a heel and a toe to the cock, the heel is, on this gun, the heel is acted on by the mainspring. That indicates that's characteristic of a Spanish-made gun. The Italian style, the striker, or the mainspring here, would act on the toe. If we look up close, you can see that there are two sears. There's a half-cock sear and a full-cock sear. The toe of the striker, right here, is resting on that sear at full cock. When I pull the trigger, both this sear and the half-cock sear below it, right there, pull horizontally into the gun. One other recognizable characteristic of a Miquelet, both Spanish and Italian style, is this big ring, open loop at the top of the flint. One other element that you commonly see on flintlock handguns, and this is no exception, is that the butt of the gun is enlarged and it's got a nice metal cover on it. The reason for this, of course, is in a military context, you only have one shot with this pistol. Once you take that shot, if you're still in a fight, which you almost certainly will be, you're not going to have the ability to reload the gun in the heat of battle. And so what you have here is now an impact weapon. You can hold the gun up at this end and hit someone with it. The condition on this particular example is pretty rough. There's a lot of pitting and corrosion on both the engraving, scroll work, the barrel, all the working parts. However, it is mechanically functional. All the parts do what they're supposed to. I don't know if this would be safe to fire or not, it might be. I certainly wouldn't load it with a particularly high pressure charge. But it would be, it's a really cool example of the Spanish style of Miquelet. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you learned something about developmental firearms. And, well, of course, this is an auction, so this pistol is available for sale. If you're interested in it, want to make it your own, you can go ahead and click the link right below in the text description. That'll take you to Rock Island's page, where you can see their detailed photos and set up an account and place a bid online today. Thanks for watching.